Yogesh,
Yes, sir.
please introduce yourself to the board.
Yes, sir. Sir, I was born in Fatehabad district of Haryana, but my father was in the army, so I've been all over the place, sir. Dehradun, Pathankot, Ambala, Agra, Bhatinda, Bhuj, Chandigarh. I graduated from National Law School, Bangalore in 2016. I worked in the corporate sector for 1.5 years. I was lucky enough to qualify UPSC in 2021, sir. I'm currently in the Indian Defence Estate Service. I'm currently posted as Chief Executive Officer, Jutog and Subatu. Both are cantonments in Himachal, sir. I like to read about linguistics as much as I can in my free time and watch some historical drama every now and then, sir. That's pretty much about me, sir.
Okay, very good. So, actually, I used to joke with my friend who was chief of IDS, whatever the post. I said, you are the biggest landlord. So, you want to leave IDS and join some other service? Okay. And your father is Gram Sachiv. This is in that, what, in Panchayat level?
Sir, my father retired from the army in 2011 and then he worked for Haryana government as Gram Sachiv for 10 years, sir, from 2011 to 2000.
So what is the, where is that Gram Sachiv? At a village level, at a Panchayat level, block level, where?
Sir, ideally it should be at the Gram Panchayat level, sir. However, sir, due to staff shortages in Haryana, sir, he was the Gram Sachiv or the Panchayat secretary for 10 villages, sir.
Yes, okay, all right. So, what is your idea about Gram Sabha? Is it really effective? The decisions are taken by majority in the Gram Sabha, or it is just managed?
So I've always felt that the level of empowerment of Gram Sabha cannot be isolated from the general empowerment of masses in the state, sir. For example, sir, I've been lucky enough to witness a fairly active Gram Sabha in Karnataka, although I haven't witnessed one in Kerala where it's supposed to be really empowered. But I've heard and read about how those Gram Sabhas can be, where people voice fair opinions. From what I've understood, sir, it's like an ideal speech situation where there are no threats, people voice their opinions freely, everyone is open to persuasion. Now, if the general citizenry of a place is informed, aware, empowered, Gram Sabha becomes an effective instrument. But sir, if the general citizenry of a place is not as empowered, sir, Gram Sabhas could be easily modeled, sir, manipulated, sir.
Okay. What do you think? There should be an educational qualification? Because the Rajasthan had one educational qualification, but then they removed it.
Yes, sir. Sir, Haryana also put in place, I think, 10th standard as the educational qualification. Sir, I think educational qualifications per se could disempower or could disenfranchise individuals, sir. I think I asked myself, what's the heart and soul of a move like this? The heart and soul of a move like this is to ensure that our representatives understand the consequences of their actions, can take effective part in the deliberations, sir. And I think that could be ensured devoid of whether you have a degree or whether you have a 10th certificate or not, sir.
Okay. Your subject is political science and interest relations.
Yes, sir.
Have you read Marx?
Sir, I've not read the book per se, sir. I've read summaries and I've been fairly acquainted with his ideas.
Okay. So, he said there are 3 types of alienation. Can you name them for me? What are the types of alienation he was talking about?
No, sir. At this moment, I cannot recall the 3 types of alienation, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Can you compare Plato's philosopher king with Machiavelli's prince? How they differ?
So once the Platonic philosopher king had ergo omnes or summum bonum, or so good of all at his heart, sir. His ways might be radical, but eventually he was trying to achieve it some sort of a virtue-laden society, sir. I think Machiavelli's prince does not have the means or the ends there, sir. I think it's amassing of as much power as the prince could. That's the objective. Two, sir, I think Plato did not have as nationalistic an outlook. So for example, sir, he was trying to reform the society in Athens, but it was not limited to his own societies. His principles had universal applications in his own brain, sir. I think, sir, Machiavelli is a very nationalistic, has a very nationalistic outlook, sir. Some might say even imperialist, sir. Third, sir, Machiavelli had a very instrumental approach to religion. Religion could be used only when it serves your own interests, sir. Plato, on the other hand, sir, although his religion was more secular, as in it was more rationalistic, but he did not have an instrumental approach to beliefs of the time, sir.
So, as a future administrator, where you will be? Closer to Plato's philosopher king or Machiavelli's prince?
Sir, I think my ideals are pretty set in stone by the constitution itself, sir. It's constitution and a conscience, sir. I think I would neither like to be a philosopher king nor the prince, sir. It's just the constitution, sir.
All right. Yogesh.
Okay, Yogesh, you are already in a class 1 service, right?
Yes, sir.
And you have not chosen other services also, just a few.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you are a law scholar, you have done well. I would like to ask you, which side is to be blamed for Russia-Ukraine war?
Yes, sir. Sir, on this question, sir, I believe there are two perspectives, sir. One from an IR standpoint, sir, the theory standpoint, and the other from the international law standpoint, sir. So from an IR theory standpoint, I always take a realist, not always, in this case, I take a realist view, sir. I think the open door policy to NATO, sir, I think the color revolutions have, and the recent democratic upsurgences that we saw in Ukraine, sir, had Russia thinking that their security is under jeopardy. There is blame to be shared on both sides, sir, but I think there is a clear understanding, even in United States, especially if you read foreign affairs sometimes, there's a clear understanding that expansion towards the east did provoke Russia, sir. At the same time, sir, from an international law standpoint, I do not think an invasion was justified by any moral or legal acumen, sir. I think it was unprovoked, at least on part of Ukraine, sir, and there was severe allegations of war crimes against Russian forces, sir.
So, Russia is realizing that they have made a blunder, or they will achieve their target, whatever be the cost?
Sir, I think there was an element of miscalculation, sir. I think
by Russia?
Yes, sir. Sir, because they trampled over Georgia, they could achieve what they wanted in Crimea. So they sort of miscalculated that they'll be able to take their forces directly to Kyiv, take their airport, and like install a fresh government there, so which would be a satellite state. I think initially that miscalculation came to the fore, but I think as this war progresses and as the conflict freezes, sir, Russia currently holds a huge chunk of Ukrainian territory.
20%, 18%,
yes, sir.
precisely. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, is the NATO, European Union, Ukraine, and USA, are they justified in standing up to the Russian aggression, or greed, if I can put it?
Yes, sir. I think they are, sir, for the following reasons. So, one, if the norm of non-aggression against one's territory is allowed to be trampled upon this easily, it would repeat in other areas, sir.
So, I want to know if there is a solution to this, because Russia is not going to go back, not going to retreat, having taken the step forward. You know, even if it may be ruining or feeling that it is a mistake. But is there a way out? UN system seems to have collapsed. There is not much hope that we can do.
Yes, sir. I've seen some counter proposals and proposals to how a peace process might start, sir. But the Ukrainian maximalist position, I think right now, of complete withdrawal of Russian forces from its borders, sir, if that remains to be the Ukrainian position, I think it would be very difficult to arrive at any sort of peace right now, sir. But at the same time, so the Russian position is as maximalist, sir, that they want a complete change of regime in Kiev. However, I think Russians might have gone back on that, sir. But right now, I think I do not see Russia leaving territory, sir.
Yeah, and you have seen the Putin's interview with
Yes,
the
sir.
Fox TV guy,
Yes,
and
sir.
he wants to negotiate with a situation where is as is basis. So anyway, we will see what happens. Now, coming to another topic, China has a trade surplus, 100 billion more. They don't seem to be mindful of that. I mean, they don't care whether there is a surplus or no. Galwan happened, Arunachal Pradesh, they say is part of Tibet, and they block us in UNSC. Is there any way, good way, diplomatically, that we can tackle a heavier country like China as our northern neighbor?
Sir, sir, keeping the economic part aside, because it makes it easier to answer the question, sir, only for a brief moment, sir, I think the way forward is balance of power, sir. We'll have to form regional alliances. We'll have to work with our partners in Southeast Asia, Japan, Australia, to sort of pose a collective, collective front against Chinese aggression anywhere in the region, sir. On the economic front, sir, I think the global reconstitution of global supply chains that's underway now, sir, the China 1+1 strategy might enable us to bring that trade surplus that China has against it down to some level, sir. But again, sir, China is one of the most reliable suppliers of cheap electronic goods that we ourselves need. Sir, our Digital India platform, our PLI schemes, sir, depend on this cheap technology from China, sir.
Yeah, so the issue will remain. Indians are buying with eyes open, ear open. You know, nobody is compelling China to push it here. It's willfully happening, and it is in our interest, in our own economic growth and market. So, is there a way to tackle China? I mean, you mentioned about some international alliances. Is something India doing already which is good in Asia Pacific?
Yes, sir. I think the construct of Indo-Pacific, sir. Some nascent happenings in the IAPMT forum, sir. Sir, I think these are some good steps, sir, at a geostrategic level, sir.
What about Quad?
Yes, sir. So, Quad is an interesting element. I think Quad is definitely the manifestation of the
Quad is a very diplomatic organization,
yes, sir,
with a facade something else, but there is a lot more. Anyway, well done.
Sir, no, sir, I misspoke, sir. I think Quad should have been the
yeah,
of
I
this
mean,
answer.
you need to also be mindful of that.
Yes, sir.
Well done, Yogesh. Well done.
Yogesh, see, in a government system, in polity, interest groups, lobby, pressure groups, they sometimes influence the government policy to the extent that some of the validly passed laws are retreated. Can you recall some of the incidents which has happened in the past? At least 2-3 incidents where the government has to retreat in spite of the passing of the bills.
So one would be the agricultural laws, sir.
Yes.
Farm laws, sir. So if I can take
yes,
take a few seconds. Sorry, sir. At this
See,
moment,
in the case of professionals, doctors, they had to, the punishment period was reduced.
yes, sir.
In the case of Vehicle Act, the
Yes, sir.
transporters,
Yes, sir,
they
indeed,
had
sir.
to. I mean, these are some of the instances. There could be a number of them. Do you think that this shows the weakness of the government, or?
So to the in my limited understanding,
Yes,
sir. Sir, whenever a pressure group tries to build pressure upon policy making apparatus, sir, and is successful in at least swaying the policy, not a change altogether, sir, I think it shows the robustness of our democracy, sir. Sir, whenever I think about it, I always compare it in my own head with the United States, sir, where much of the lobbying happens behind closed doors, sir. Many of the legislations already have inbuilt proposals from financiers and private corporations, sir. As opposed to that, sir, let's have our pressure groups out in the open, actively telling the government what to do and what not to do. I think that's a better model to have, sir. So I think it shows the robustness of our democracy, sir.
Now, coming to the next point regarding separation of powers, which we have adopted. In the case of Jammu and Kashmir, the abrogation of Article 370, does it manifest the process, does it manifest the separation of powers in place?
Sir, up till now, I did not think that the application of Article 370 would have any linkages with the theory of separation of powers, sir. But I would definitely read up, sir, how it impacts the separation of powers, sir.
How does an act reach its finality? Executive or the legislative pass the act
Yes,
and
sir.
goes to the parliament, then it is challenged to
Yes,
go
sir.
before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says no.
All right.
Either it is correct. So this is separation of powers which leads to the finality.
All right,
That
sir.
is how in this slide.
All right, sir.
Now you're a student of law. The enforcement directorate has been in the news for quite some time, almost every day.
Yes, sir.
Where from do they draw their authority?
Sir, they primarily draw their authority from Prevention of Money Laundering Act, sir, and its various amendments, sir.
And
Its various amendments. of-
primarily you said then
Yes, sir, because many of the offences of IPC are also added, I think, as a schedule to PMLA, sir. It also draws its power from other penal.
it draws its power from Prevention of Money Laundering Act only,
All right, sir.
wherein those acts are also mentioned.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Sorry,
it,
sir.
it can't be that that is later on.
Yes, sir,
Whatever
the
act is
empowering
mentioned there,
statute.
it's many times it is called it's a draconian law. Why?
So one, sir, it is based on the theory of a predicate offence. It takes so even if an FIR and the predicate offence is not registered,
The
enforcement.
predicate offence registration has to be essential. That is when they derive their authority.
Yes, sir.
That is the procedural part. You may say that yes, there are two filters are there. That once the predicate offence has to be there, then there has to be provisions of money laundering also get attracted.
Yes, sir.
Then it is the add-on value.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is one part.
Yes.
But why draconian?
Some of the bail provisions, sir, are very stringent. It doesn't follow the two test rule that
Mhm.
bail jurisprudence usually
And
has.
another thing is that the burden of proof is on
Yes,
the
yes, sir.
accused
Reverse.
instead of the prosecution part of that is what makes it more.
Sir, if I may add, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, I think the burden of proof is reversed, sir. And sir, for example, in a routine offence, sir, the copy of FIR has to be supplied to the accused, sir. But I think in a PMLA proceedings, the ECIR document does not need to be provided to the accused, sir. And accused would not even know that they are the accused, sir.
How authoritatively you are saying this?
Sir, during my mains preparation, I went over the judgment that came out. sir.
Exactly, yes. So now the things have been put at rest. That the Supreme Court has said that the providing a copy of the ECIR is not necessary. I mean,
Yes,
not
yes.
required
Right.
to have a valid proceedings against the person
All right,
concerned. You're right. That way, it's yeah. Now coming to the field of economics. What is fiscal deficit?
So the shortfall of expenditure, so the difference between the total expenditure and the total receipts, sir. In essence, sir, it would be the total borrowings that our economy has in a fiscal year, sir. That's calculated. That's the fiscal deficit, sir.
How is that deficit filled? The gap is covered
So through borrowings, sir.
and
Sir, it could also be covered through printing of money, sir.
yes, that's
sir.
right. Good. Now, what is the difference between tax growth rate and tax buoyancy? Because it has been in the news recently that not only the tax growth is there, but there is a buoyancy also in the tax collection.
Yes, sir. So while I'm not clear on the concept, sir, I'll definitely read up.
Okay,
sir.
fine, thank you.
Yes, Yogesh, I'm giving you a situation like you are a lawyer, not a defense estate officer, and your friend has been taken into custody by police. And when you go to the police station, you are not allowed to meet him, and they say that he has been arrested under NSA. So what will you do?
Sir, under National Security Act?
Yeah.
All right. Sir, I'm not sure as to the course that I would prescribe to him at this point, sir.
So shall I change my question
Uh,
or redraft my question? What would you like? Shall we remain on NSA or shall I go to some other subject? That is the point I am asking you.
Right, sir. Sir, I'm not. Sir, I'm aware of the provisions, but I'm not sure of the exact.
Okay. So then I go to some other question. Yes, you describe the federal structure of Indian Constitution. Compare it with the most federal country in the world. You are a constitutional law expert.
I think the most, sir, whenever I think of federalism, sir, I think states that almost verge on confederacy come to mind, sir. Sir, United States has a history of being in an incredibly federal institution. So the other that comes to my mind is...
What are the 4 or 5 important points of a most federal country?
Yes, sir. So once a disintegrated judiciary, sir. A federal judiciary, sir. You would have a Supreme Court of Alabama that way, sir. 2, sir. So the power to tax would be again, so for example, even corporate taxes could be laid at a state level, sir. 3, sir. Foreign policy, sir. That's where it verges into the terrain of confederacy, sir. Even foreign policy decisions could be taken at the state level, sir. And sir, each unit of federalism, each state would have equal representation in the center, sir. For example,
succession, communication, defense. There are 3 or 4 subjects which remain with the federal government.
Yes, sir.
That is the most federal structure. Let us come to last question from my side. As you are already in service for last 2 years, so must be knowing about leave rules.
Sir,
how many times of leaves are there and what are the names, and just give me the description.
So while I've been in service, sir, most of it was spent on training. I've only recently joined my posting, but sir,
in the departmental exam also they check whether you know the various type of leaves or not. Or if you don't know, I'll ask one more question, then leave you.
Yes, sir. So I'm not definitive with the answer, so that's why.
Okay. What was the headline in today's newspaper?
Sir, the Bharat Ratnas.
So, just tell me who got the award and what is the political significance. Not they need to be given or all those things. What is the political significance of today's awardees?
Sir, Shri Lal Krishna Advani, sir, he started the Ram Janmabhoomi movement, sir. Has been.
But he was not given award today. I am talking about today's awardees.
Today, sir. Shri Narsim Rao, sir. So he had implications across the board. Foreign policy, he changed the stance from look to.
I'm asking political significance of giving the award. I'm not asking his attributes.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think he was the political significance would be, sir, he was a Congress Prime Minister who was awarded by a BJP government, so that could have some political significance, sir.
In Andhra Pradesh or where?
Sir, it's more symbolic, sir, because even an award of more symbolic.
Okay. Next.
Sir, Chaudhry Charan Singh, sir. Chaudhry Charan Singh was awarded. Sir, in Western Uttar Pradesh, there might be some constituencies that would be affected, sir. And so third, I cannot recall right now.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Chairman will address you.
Okay, the formal interview is over. You can wait outside. We'll call you for feedback.
Thank you, sir.
So, what is your own assessment of the interview today?
So decent, sir, but there are many knowledge gaps that I need to plug quickly, sir.
Do you get time to prepare?
Not as much, sir. So I took 2 days leave to come here and take some mocks and then go back, sir.
That's the problem.
How much you got in the last interview?
Sir, 187, sir.
Oh, that's pretty good. You got selected, huh?
Very good. So, you are posted where?
Sir, Subatu and Jutog, sir, 2 cantonments in Himachal, sir.
Himachal.
Yes, sir.
Is it Chinese border or something?
No, sir, Subatu is in Solan, sir, and Jutog is in Shimla, sir.
Okay.
nice places.
Nice places to be in.
Yes, sir. My
Not this season, but
Yes, sir. No, it's an indeed. It's a very nice place. So both of them. Sir.
yeah, okay, all right. See, the thumb rule is, you have appeared for the interview, you must be knowing that you get hardly 1 minute to answer a question. So the first, all important points should come out in first 30-40 seconds.
Yes.
Otherwise, what happens? Either you cannot complete, or the member will move to some other question. In either case, you lose points. Okay. So try to be brief.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the questions will come from your subject, political science, international relations, and also law, because you have studied law. And there may be some questions from defense states also,
Yes, sir.
like selling defense land. Okay. Especially in Bombay, it's a very critical issue. And your first preference is IAS, of course, but second preference is IFS. So current affairs becomes very important.
Yes, sir.
So read a newspaper regularly, take out time to read a newspaper.
Yes, sir.
And if you can read an economic newspaper as well, it will be better. And there are some TV channels like CNN, IBN. And you read that?
Sir, recently I haven't had the time, sir, but I should. Yes, sir.
Palki Sharma Upadhyay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Shekhar Gupta's Cut the Clutter.
Yes, sir.
And WION
Sir.
on TV. Sansad TV for government programs. The news just now relating to cantonment land, the Ranchi cantonment land was sold by then CM, who is now facing
Yes, sir.
ED. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So cantonment land is very dicey.
Yes, sir.
You are from the one of the best law schools. Should be thorough with your knowledge of law. I think that's about it. If you want to ask any question, then
No, so I think it's fairly clear to me is that I need to read up more, sir. Actually, our cantonments are undergoing this process of accession. So we're drafting, redrafting proposals on a daily basis. So they were kind enough to let me go for 2 days, sir. So I have to just find ways to find time, sir.
When is the interview? When is it?
So 22nd February, sir.
I think then not much time. You can take 10-12 days leave. That would be useful. I think your bosses would allow you that much of leave because some sort of preparation would be required. Some questions, although you are answering many questions because of your remembrance and other things.
Yes, sir.
But
Just a few things which they asked you in the interview last time, just to get an idea.
Sir, 15 minutes the constitution and law was discussed, sir. They asked me about international examples of how a laggard country in pendency was made well, sir. But sir, I had at least 25 mocks. I had read as much as I could, sir.
Okay.
So I sort of knew the answer beforehand. I knew that like 1, 2, 3 I could spit it out as soon as possible, sir. This time that's not the case.
Anything which you could not answer there?
So they asked me about the specificities of international trade law, which I confessed I did not know at that time, sir.
Very specific to your domain.
Yes, sir.
experience,
Yes, sir.
See, you scored 187, so you have to go close to 200 or beyond, and this is your good opportunity. You should make it.
Yes, sir.
You know, read and make yourself ready as you were last time.
Yes, sir.
Take leave, as my colleague is saying.
Yes, sir.
This is your opportunity. This is the time you have to push it and go across.
Yes, sir.
When is your interview?
Sir, 22nd February, sir.
27 February, 10 days.
Yeah, 10
lot of
days.
time.
Yes, sir.
You need at
Right,
least 1 week leave.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all the best.
All the
It
best.
will make a big difference if you take leave and make all full attempt.
Yes, sir. I will definitely try,
Yeah,
sir.
do that.
Sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, all the
Thank you.
best.
Thank
All
you,
the
sir.
best.
Thank you.